Chapter 3. Conditional and Iterative Statements in QBasic. You will learn about conditional statements, goTo and goSub commands, iterative statements, exiting loops. In previous class, you all have learnt about various commands used in QBasic and different types of operators available. In this chapter, we will now learn about conditional and iterative statements in QBasic. Conditional statements. A conditional statement is a set of rules performed if a certain condition is met. They are also known as control statements as they help in controlling the flow of the program. If then, else, if then, else, if are some of the conditional statements in QBasic. Let us learn about them one by one. 1. If-then statement. One of the most basic and useful conditional statements in QBasic is the if-then statement. It allows you to choose what your program will do depending on the condition given by you. Syntax of if-then statement is: if condition, then do this. Example: rem, a program to find the largest number, CLS. There is a disadvantage with this statement. It is that if the condition is false, it does not perform anything or display any message to the user of the program. Therefore, if-then-else statement comes in picture to overcome this drawback. 2. If-then-else statement. In this statement, then instructions will execute only when result of condition comes true, and if result is false, then the else instructions will get executed. Syntax is as: if condition, then do this, else do that. Example: rem, a program to find the largest number, CLS. 3. If then else and if statements. And if allows you to have multiple commands after the if-then statement. It can be used with both if-then and if-then-else statements. Syntax is as: example, x is equal to 10. If x is equal to 5, then num equals 5. 4. If-then-else-if statement. The else-if statement is used to check for another condition if the value of first condition becomes false. The statements under else-if will execute only when the condition for else-if comes true. The syntax is as: brain dose. You can have multiple else-if statements along with else. Example 1. CLS. Example 2. CLS. Logical operators can also be used in the if-then statement to combine two or more conditions. Example 1. AND operator. This operator gives true only when both of the conditions are true. CLS. Example 2. OR operator. This operator gives true if any of the condition is true. CLS. Strings can also be used with if-then statements. CLS. goTo and goSub commands. These commands are used when you want to jump to certain positions in your program. To specify the position where the control should jump in the program and continue executions, labels are used. goTo command. To make use of goTo, first place a label in your program where the control is to be jumped and from where you want to jump. Type goTo label tag. Syntax is as: example, goSub command. It is same as goTo command except that when it encounters a return statement, the control of the program returns back to the goSub command. Syntax is as: example, CLS. Iterative statements. Iterations or loops are used to repeat the execution of a group of statements many times. 4 types of iterative statements are available. 1. If goTo statement. If goTo statement can also be used to create a loop. Its syntax is as: example, rem, a program to display even numbers from 0 to 10, CLS. Here end is used so that you can exit from the program. If end is not used, the system can hang up due to infinite loop. 2. While when statement. It continues the loop until a specified condition becomes false. To use while when, 1. Place a condition after while. 2. Enter the list of commands. 3. Put when at the end. Its syntax is a example. Rem, a program to display even numbers from 0 to 10. CLS. 3. Do loop. Do loop is used in such situations when you don't know how many times the loop has to be executed. There are two types of do loop. 1. Do while loop. 2. Do until loop. 1. Do while loop. It executes a group of statements until the specified condition is true. Syntax. Example. Rem, a program to display odd numbers from 1 to 30. CLS. Brain dose. Do while and do until loop are same except that in do until, loop will execute for one time whether the condition will be true or false. 2. Do until loop. It is similar as do while loop except that do until loop executes group of statements until the specified condition is false. Its syntax is as example. Rem, a program to display reversed numbers from 10 to 1. CLS. 4. For next. It is also used for creating loops. Its syntax is as the value by which the counter variable is incremented or decremented every time the loop body is executed is called the step value. It is an optional value. It can be positive or negative, but cannot be 0. If step value is not defined, then the value of counter increments by 1 every time by default. Example 1. Rem, a program to add even numbers from 1 to 30. CLS. Example 2. Rem, a program to print numbers from 1 to 10. CLS. Exiting a loop. To exit from a loop before the loop ends on its own, exit command is used. But exit command works only with for next and do loop. Example. Rem, a program to display use of exit command. CLS. Quick recap. A conditional statement is a set of rules performed if a certain condition is met. You can have multiple else if statements along with else. Go to and go sub commands are used when you want to jump to certain positions in your program. To repeat the execution of a group of statements many times, iterations or loops are used. Exit command is used to exit from a loop before the loop ends on its own.